what about the Trump tariffs? That is the question right now. Now, why is this happening? Well, quite frankly, I will tell you that we are in the process of going into a quite interesting situation. Now, what is this situation? Well, let me explain to you what's going on, because this is kind of very interesting, right? So essentially right now, originally, we had about 190 original countries. Okay, 190. Then we dropped to about 59. So basically what happened on April 5th, Trump said, I am going to give you a total of 100 countries. Okay, I'm going to give you 100 countries, and then I'm going to drop it. What does that mean? Well, essentially, what we're talking about is the idea that we are going to really have about 190 countries on April 5th. Then what we have is on April 9th, we had reciprocal tariffs on 59 countries. Okay, so far so good. Then what we have is about 59 countries that are reciprocal tariff on April 9th. So then it was a big mess. Everybody said, what's going on? This is crazy. We can't live like this. So we're going to extend it over and over and over. That's what we did. Now, how much longer can we do this? We shall see. The point is now, out of the 190, the 59, and now August 1st, the July 9th is coming. So now we are going to be waiting for the tariffs, right? The famous tariffs. Remember, we started at 190 countries for all imports, down to 59. Let me give you a quick news, and I'm going to tell you what's going on here. We went from 159, and don't forget to subscribe as usual, 190 in April. Then we went to 59 for the reciprocal tariffs on April 9th. And now the deadline has come. What has actually happened? Well, frankly, we have a couple of deals, which I'm going to tell you about. And I'll tell you what that means, most importantly. And then Trump literally sent letters to 14 countries saying, you know what? You have until August 1st. If I don't hear you from August 1st, I'm going to charge you between 25 and 40%. So a bunch of countries are getting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to learn more about what this is about, which is about the black swan, about all the risks that could impact you and the stock market based on my experience. So there are 14 letters out there with 25 to 40% tariffs. Some people are getting letters like Bangladesh or very, very tiny countries, and they're saying, whoa, okay, for 25%. Right, on August 1st, because I haven't heard from you, so I'm punishing you, okay? Now, we gotten a couple of deals, okay? What are these countries? Well, let me tell you a little bit about who actually got deals. So Mexico and Canada, Trump 25% duty on the imports. The EU, they face a 10% baseline tariff and a possible ramp up to 50%. Now, Trump is serious. This is serious business. He's not joking around. He's not just saying that to basically have a discussion with you, right? You've seen what happened with Iran. You've seen what happened with all these other countries. You've seen what happened with NATO. You've seen what happened with the big, beautiful bill. The man is not joking around, okay? So he sent those letters out, and he said that you're going to be between 25 and 40%. And that's how it's going to be. Now, imagine you're a small country, you're going to have to pay 40% tariffs. Now, of course, what's happening, and this is the interesting part of it, what's interesting is that all these other countries realize that, whoa, is this guy serious or not? Okay, and he is serious. So it's mass confusion, which is exactly where Trump wants everyone. The UK, I mean, if you look at the bottom line, how many deals actually have been done? So you have an agreement with the UK, which is basically 10%. We like them. He likes them. So he's going to get 10% tariffs on the UK. Subscribe to this channel for more information as to what is going on in the market, which is now entering a very delicate phase. And you know what the delicate phase is? Basically, we're assuming that we don't have a Fed. We're assuming that the tariffs really are going to get paid. That's basically what it comes down to. The U.S. is collecting a lot more money this year on tariffs than last year. Regardless whether or not the deals have been done, the U.S. is collecting money, right? We're talking, probably like 150 billion so far by the end of the year, between 150 and 200 billion, almost twice as much as last year. So this is serious business that they're making. And meanwhile, we're negotiating back and forth. Now, is this going to last? We shall see. But the point right now, that's what's happening. Now, as far as the race is concerned, well, quite frankly, the market, maybe not Trump, but probably Trump as well, but the people, maybe not the people, but the market is assuming already that we're going to have a new Fed chair. And that new Fed chair, between you and I believe it's going to be Bassett, the current Treasury Secretary. I think he sounds and look and feel exactly like a Fed chair. So he's going to be the next Fed chair probably, and he's going to basically lower rates. So the market is already assuming lower rates. The market is already assuming that, it's creating confusion, but who cares? We haven't seen anything in the numbers. We don't see any kind of inflation. So it's business as usual. It's extremely infantile to believe that all of these countries, right, with all of these tariffs, somehow are just gonna be okay, right? That is not going to happen, right? We're going to have issues. With Canada, where Trump ordered 25% duties on the imports of goods in Mexico. So basically, we're 25% with Canada and Mexico, 10% the UK. The EU, they better be careful. We may be looking at 50% from the EU. So that's a lot of damage. That's a tremendous amount of damage for these countries. Because, all these tariffs are in trouble and many deals have not been finalized. But that's not the point. We don't really care about them being finalized or not at the end of the day. We're going to charge you regardless. I mean, if you think about it, think about some of the countries. Let me bring up some of the countries that we are actually going to be charging the people. It's humongous. It's ridiculous. But that's how it is, okay? So what they're going to be doing is charging these countries a lot of money, and these countries are going to have to pay up, okay? What does it mean for you, right? What does it mean for you in terms of your business, and what does it mean for you in terms of the stock market? Subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to join my Patreon channel, because I post things every day to give you a view. I'm not reporting to you what's happening in the news, because you've already seen the letters have gone out. You've heard that there's some kind of deal with Mexico. It's 25%, 40%. Yeah, the bottom line that you need to know is that they are collecting. The U.S. is collecting on its amount of money that it's making. Now, of course, what you should be worried about is, okay, but what's going to happen next from these tariffs? What happens next with the tariffs? And I'm going to tell you what happens next with the tariffs. Next, the U.S. is collecting. Okay, so we kind of know already about 150 to 200 billion dollars in tariffs. Okay. Second, we are going to see the mass confusion and uncertainty now permeate through the system. Why? Well, because if you're shipping things to the U.S. and now you're finding yourself with a 50% tariffs, or maybe if you negotiate, you get down to 25, is it really worth it for you to do it? It might not be worth it, right? Now, of course, be careful, because Trump is watching. If you start increasing your prices, right? If you start increasing the prices as you're shipping the goods in, he's going to say, that's not fair. You shouldn't be doing that, because you're going to create inflation. So now it's going to be 100% tariff, so we don't want you. You see what they're doing? Back and forth. So what's going to happen is, as far as the tariffs are concerned, you're going to increase inflation. Inflation is going to go up. And it's probably going to see it in June, July. Yes, unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. June, July, you're going to see an increase in inflation because of the tariffs. You're going to see next lots of money coming in from the tariffs. And Trump, very smartly, knows, right? You're not going to do a deal with 190 countries, or even reciprocal tariffs with 59, or even with a 14, right? How are you going to make deals with Europe? Because they don't think he's serious. And even if they think he's serious, it's going to take them forever to get around to understand what's happening with the tariffs. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, by the way. I need you, as I bring to you every day. I come to you every day with some new information, but not information, analysis. My analysis is as follows. One, the U.S. is collecting money that, even though we're talking back and forth, we haven't signed that many deals to talk about, quite frankly. Two, inflation is going to come through. What does that mean? It means that the inflation is going to go up in June, July, and the Fed is not going to lower rates. Three, the market doesn't care about that. You know what? Because the market already assumes that we're going to have a new new Fed chair next year. So it's already seeing, because the market looks ahead, obviously. So the market is looking ahead of that. It's saying, you know what? I think it's going to be Bassett, quite frankly. And he's going to lower rates because Trump, this is so obvious. He wants the rates to be lowered, lower rates. And that's what's going to happen. So the market basically, if you notice, it did this and it did that in April. And it said, whoa, what's going on? And then it went back up. It said, you know what? We're going to be fine because Trump is basically creating uncertainty. But at the end of the day, the uncertainty is going to go away because, frankly, the tariffs are going to be fine, right? Because we're collecting money anyway. So what's the big deal? Of course, what you're not seeing is a long-term effect, right? Because now, if you're a company that's shipping to the U.S. and it's costing you more money, what are you going to do, right? Don't forget, we're not just shipping one product. Sometimes you have one, like cars especially, right? You're getting one product, but it's coming from different places. How are you going to do this? Okay. But do you think Trump really cares about that? Trump only cares about one thing, is to deliver what he said he was going to deliver, and he's delivering. He's delivering. You may not like the guy, but he's delivering. Now, of course, the concern is that, well, that's going to create uncertainty. Well, we had uncertainty before. It all went away, and now it's going to come back. No, the market can't go with this whipsaw. The market... And remember, when we're talking about the market, we're not talking about the economy. You haven't seen the economy yet. You haven't seen the implication of not spending any money. I could tell you right now, people are not spending any money, or at least are not hiring, or at least they don't know. I could see it in my students. I could see it that they're not really. There's some concern that somehow it is not going to work out in the end. Now, why is it not going to work out in the end? Because there's some concern that, quite frankly, they may have this issue with the tariffs. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel, because I come to you every day in the morning and at lunchtime to tell you all my views, and also letting you what's going on in the real world, right? In the working world and in the stock market. The stock market is up right now, which is fantastic, right? Why is it up? Well, the market is up simply because it thinks it understands what's happening with the tariffs, and also it thinks that Feds are going to lower because the market is already looking past the current Fed chair and is saying that the rates are going to come down when the new guy comes in. So the market is very crude, very shrewd, right? Now, the real world, the world that you're living in, what is happening? Well, you're going to start seeing things are going to start to slow down, because you cannot have all these tariffs all over the place and somehow it's all going to work out. So I am very, very, very curious to see how that's going to work out. So be careful, think about it. Now, what else is going on? Well, I will tell you this, right? I will tell you that right now, what we have as far as the tariffs are concerned, what do we have? Well, we also have the problem that we also have the BRICS countries. You need to watch out for the BRICS countries. And the BRICS countries, it's not just Brazil. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, by the way. It's not just Brazil. It's just not China and in India and Brazil, right? We also have Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Indonesia. So what's happening? You have also a bunch of countries that are saying, listen, the U.S., wow, really? I mean, this is too much. And Trump is saying, you know what, BRICS country, if you do anything, then I'm going to tag another 10% on top of it. The guy's crazy. But he's not crazy. This is exactly where he wants everyone to be, in a mass confusion state, so you don't know what it is that you're negotiating with. Now, of course, what Trump is negotiating with is the power of the U.S. The question is, how much powers does the U.S. really have? That is the question. That was tested in 1971 when Nixon, took the gold out of the dollar. Right? It ended the dollar being backed by gold. And what happened? You see, because in the past the dollar, right, was supported for each dollar of gold of each dollar. It was supported by gold to make sure that there was a parity. But then you say, you know what? We're so strong, we're so bad, we're so big that we do not need gold behind the dollar. And they say, wow, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to get away from the gold standard? Yes. And it worked. People got the dollar because it was the dollar. And that's what it worked. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And that's what Trump is doing now. He's saying, I'm so big and bad that I'm going to charge tariffs for 190 countries and then 56 countries for reciprocal, and now I'm sending letters to 14. The others, I don't care. It's going to go between 25 and 40% because you need to deal with the U.S. But be careful. Be careful, right? Because suppose it doesn't work. Suppose these countries decide suddenly to say, you know what? I don't have to deal with the U.S. Now, of course, you got to be careful because between you saying I don't deal with the U.S. and those countries are gonna go into recession first before they get rid of the U.S. because the U.S. is a huge market. Subscribe to this channel because what I'm about is looking for black swan, looking for risks in the market. What's the next bad thing that's going to happen that's going to impact us, right? Because right now the market is doing great. The tariff seems to be solving themselves. He's sending letters and people are paying and the U.S. is collecting money. Yes, right now. But the next thing that you need to realize is that the mass confusion is going to permeate through the system. What do I mean? Well, if you don't know how much tariffs are going to be, you're not going to hire. You're going to wait, right? Because don't forget, if you're building a car, you're getting stuff from all over the world, right? You're getting it from everywhere. So how are you gonna build anything if you don't know 40% from here, 30% from there, 20% from there, right? It's mass confusion. But what you're going to do is you still need to make money. You still need to make a product because you're assuming that, well, Trump is going to stop it. He's not going to stop, right? And the market is starting to understand that. The market is starting to realize that we need to deal with this guy and we need to deal with the fact that he wants a new Fed chair. And frankly, the market is very, is very special in the sense that all he wants to know is are you going to lower the rates? Because the market wants lower rates. Why does the market want lower rates? The market wants lower rates because the lower the rates, right? You're not going to invest your money in a CD at 2%. Then you're going to have to go in the stock market. Then you're going to have to go buy stocks. Then you're going to have to fill the coffers of all those people that have portfolios, and that's how they make their money. They want you. It's like a casino. They want you in the stock market. Okay. So, at the end of the day, the risk that we have is that all these countries start to slowing down. The risk number two is that we have a concern with the fact that they are going to reciprocate. They're going to say, no, I'm not playing with you. No way, 25%, 40%. You say, okay, you don't play with me, then what are you going to do? If you're a wine merchant in France and you're being charged right now, The European nations faces a 10% baseline. So that's 10% right now. We're not even talking negotiating, you're having 10% and a possible ramp up to 50%. You're a winemaker in Europe and you're being charged 50%. What do? Well, I'm going to pass the cost on to the US consumer, 50%. I mean, I guess you're willing to pay wine $10 to $15, $50 to $75? I don't think so. So you're going to lose your consumer. So what do? Well, you're going to sell it to someone else. Really? You're going to sell it to what? China? You're going to sell French wine to China at that kind of price? The US is the one that pays the most for wine. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I give you all the risks that are in this market right now. So you're going to have no choice but to do business with the US. Or you want a new market. Do you know how many years it took for the wine people in France to start making inroads in the US? It took years, dozens of years, 20 years almost. You're going to start all over somewhere else? You have no choice. So you're going to have to negotiate. The problem is Europe is there's so many countries that stuff to negotiate, but you're going to have to negotiate. Hey, Trump knows that. I mean, it's shrewd and it's crude, but that's how business is run. Nothing personal. It's purely business. So the market for a while is going to do great because now the market is looking at the new Fed chair, right? The market is assuming that, frankly, we are kind of knew that the U.S. was being taken to the cleaner in the past. I mean, 3% tariffs was ridiculous. Now it's on average going to be 10%. So that's going to help out the U.S. But what you need to look for is what is the next big thing? And usually, as you've seen before, like a black swan, the black swan was in April when Trump said, that's it, 190 countries are going to be tariffed. I see, where does that come from? Oh my God, the stock market plummeted completely. It's recovered since then because now they understand the risk. So once the market understands the risks, then it gets more comfortable with the idea of what's going to happen. And we say, well, remember one point when Trump was fighting with the Fed, he said, I don't like you, you don't like me, I'm going to get rid of you. Oh my God, he's going to create confusion, right? And now the market is saying, you know what, this guy is out. So let's wait for the next Fed chair who's going to lower rates. It's going to be great for us. We're only talking about May, and it's going to happen very quickly. And Bassett is probably going to be the guy, right? So the market is looking forward already. He's already forgotten about it. Now, I am not talking about the economy. The unemployment right now, employment is holding like that. We're not firing anyone, right? But we're not really hiring that much. 110,000 versus 160 last year, and 110,000 of new hires, of new jobs are going to be readjusted downward. So we're not doing anything, right? On top of that, you're putting pressure with the immigration. You don't want anybody, so you're putting pressure. You're not hiring. You're creating confusion. So this thing is gonna permeate a huge amount of risk at some point in the system, right? You're not going to see it. And frankly, all these things that we're hearing and seeing and doing, like the big, beautiful bill, the tariffs, all these, you have no control over. And when I mean you, even the Democrats have no control over because they lost out, right? They have no leg to stand on to say, well, let me tell you how it should be done. They do not know what's going to be done. So this thing is permeating and they can't control it. And frankly, they're going to do whatever they want to do, right? And they're going to take your money because that's what they did with the big, beautiful bill, right? But all these things are not happening tomorrow, right? The implications are going to be seen when all these people are gone. You're going to be here, but all these people are gone. So you need to prepare for that. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel as I want to tell you exactly what is happening underneath, what's really going on, not what they're telling you. And why am I so smart that somehow I know the solution? Well, it's very simple, right? If you're listening to Bloomberg, CNBC, and CNN, and they're telling you exactly what you want to hear. And that's what you're opening, right? If you're Republicans, you're going to go to Fox. You're going to say, what is Fox talking about? Oh, yeah, that's right. And we're doing good. We're kicking everyone out. This is fantastic. If you're a Democrat, oh my God, it's terrible. Look what you're doing to these people. Let me listen to CNN, because there they will tell you what I need to hear. Yeah, the tariffs, this is horrible. Look what he's doing. He should have done this instead of that. So basically, in the meantime, you are the one that's going to have to pay for all these mistakes that these people are doing. The big beautiful bill, regardless of what it is, how we're paying for the big beautiful bill. How do you think it's being paid for? Well, because hold on, let's see what we're talking about, but about $4.5 trillion in taxes being eliminated. That is fantastic, right? $4.5 trillion. How are you paying for the $4.5 trillion? Well, you're paying it because and plus $150 billion in $150 billion for the 50 for the immigration, a wall or whatever, $150 billion for the defense, right? How are we paying for that? Well, $1 trillion, being taken away from the Medicaid and food stamps and things like that. Somebody's going to suffer somewhere along the line. But still, it's not enough. So where do we get the rest of the money? Well, you're getting it from the borrowing more money. Well, but that's not good, right? Because now we have $37 trillion plus another $4 trillion. I mean, this is ridiculous. We're going to have so much money. It's so much money we owe. This is never going to work. Hold on. First of all, the U.S. is a reserve currency. You cannot do any business without the dollar. So you need the dollar involvement in everything. So it's not going to go away. It's not going to disappear. And that's the reason why the U.S. is able to borrow as much as it does. Unless you could come up with a replacement. What? The Chinese currency, the European, that's not going to happen. So let's forget this idea that somehow, we owe so much money that the $1 trillion is going to go away. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I am telling you exactly what you need to hear and what they will not tell you. And they will not tell you because, frankly, they don't want you to know because they can't say it. What are the things that they can't say right now? I will tell you what they can't say. The first thing, let's say, for example, the war with Iran and Israel, right? We said that Iran wants to bomb so they could destroy Israel. Yes, Iran wants to bomb, right? But not to destroy Israel. They want to bomb so they could make money. At the end of the day, it's all about making money. The mullahs are making $2 trillion. They made $2 trillion by trying to build a bomb. They know very well that the moment you open your silos and try to bomb Israel is going to destroy you, right? It's not going to happen. So it's the idea of having it to propel, but there's no, look into it. The thing is they can't really say that, because if they say that, it means that so they don't want to destroy Israel, but they said they would. The same way that Trump is saying that I want to tax 150, 190 countries. He knows very well then we're not going to sign deals with that many countries. You're never going to sign deals with these countries. But in the meantime, what you are getting paid. You are getting paid with the money that you're getting from these people while you're negotiating. Because you said, well, you can't do that technically. Yes, he could do it. He has the power now. He has more and more and more power. Why is he allowed to have that much power? That's because there's no more balancing on the other side. The Democrats are gone, right? What are they going to tell you? After all the mistakes that they make, they're going to say, okay, this is how it should be done. No. So Trump is I wouldn't say he's unchecked, but he's out there doing his thing. And the Republicans, look what happened with the big, beautiful bill, right? Did they try to stop him, the Republicans? Some people were like, look at the only guy that's really trying anything is a poor Elon Musk. And look what's happening to him. Look what's happening to Tesla. Join this channel for unbiased analysis based on my years of experience. I am going to tell you what you need to know to make money in the stock market. And right now, the market is going to go up. But don't go after Tesla right now, because unfortunately what Tesla did, should have done it, is that he went after Trump. And instead of focusing on making cars, he wanted to focus on saving money. But these people, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure if these people are focused on saving money, right? Why not? Well, because that's not going to impact them for a long while. That's going to be for a long while before you can make money on this market, right? You're not going to see the impact right away. The only thing that you could see right away, right, is the stock market. So you're hearing news and you're seeing the market moving and you're saying, aha, right? But that's not it. The market moves only on one thing. The market truly moves solely on the basis of information. The market moves on the basis of news, of a story. What is the story right now? What is going on with this market? What is going on with the story? What is the story that you're being told in the market right now? The story you're being told, for example, look at Tesla. And don't forget to join this channel. I am always giving you unbiased analysis. What's going on with Tesla right now? Well, the story with Tesla is that he's fighting with Trump and he's not making cars. Well, I mean, it's not like he's out there on the floor bolting those things together, right? But if the story, because in the beginning of the year, the story was he's Trump's friend. It's going to be great. They're going to make a lot of money. It's going to be great for Tesla. The company is the same, but now the story shifts completely, right? The story shifts completely by telling you that Tesla, that Elon Musk is not focused on this company anymore. Now, of course, is it true? Is it not true? It doesn't really matter. What you care about is the impression it's giving on the stocks. And the stock was down 7% yesterday. Why? It was down because the simple reason is the story now is that Musk is not focused anymore. But that may or may not be true. But you need to understand that the market is driven by the story. If you don't know the right story, you're banging in the wrong door. And frankly, Musk, now by creating a political party, if you thought he spent a lot of time with Doge, right? Trying to save money for Social Security here, trying to say you sent money there when you should have never sent it. The amount of money that Elon Musk is going to spend creating a political party, which involves, oh my God, I mean, to create a political party is a tremendous amount of time, right? What does he need to know? Well, you need to create ballot access. You need to have a legal battle because two-party interests would likely challenge the signature and the petitions. You need to build brand recognition. You need time constraints. Listen, but you'll never have time to do all this. This is a waste of time, and you'll never be able to focus on the company. Therefore, the company is nothing. What do you know? What is what do you know about Elon Musk's schedule, right? You don't. The problem is that you need to know what the story is, right? Because if you know the story and you know that they basically each time he gets it takes his eye off the ball, then we're going to lose money. So the question for you as an investor is, well, what is he going to do next? You want to know what's going to happen next, and this is what this channel is about, right? We discussed the point of contention of what's going to happen next. What is Elon Musk going to do next? Right? Is he gonna create a party? Right? Well, he didn't create it. He filed it. So let's see if he actually creates anything, if he actually goes through with it. The point is he going to go through with it? What kind of person is Elon Musk? Well, obviously, he's not the kind of person that does well when it comes down to political parties and discussions and uncertainty about things and not being in control. He wants to be in control. Is he in control? Well, he'll be in control of the political party. Yeah, but it's more than that. It's a different world. So my guess is that what Elon Musk is going to do, he's going to stop doing what he's doing and he's going to go back. They're going to tell him, listen, You're costing us too much money. You got to get back to work. You say, but I could do both at the same time. Yeah, but people don't believe that. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel as I give you the news the way I see it and the analysis, because this channel is about creating black swan. Do you know what a black swan is? A black swan, which is a term that was coined by Taleb Nassim. And basically the idea, Taleb Nassim, who became famous, Taleb made $4,000, 4,000%. I think there's some news breaking. Here's what's going on. Alert, Trump media files registration statement for crypto blockchain. Now, in the meantime, while Trump is doing all that, he's creating a crypto channel, meme coins. I mean, they're minting money over there, right? Well, you're trying to figure out what's going on. Is he going to charge? Is he going to charge? Remember, in this situation that we're in, there's 3 levels. These people are playing, they're not playing checkers, they're playing chess, right? 3 levels. You need to understand what's happening, right? Instead of swiping every 5 seconds, try to understand what's going on and try to go to a channel that actually explains to you what is going on, what is really going on, okay? What's really going on right now with Tesla is the story is overtaking the stock, right? Now, do you really know what Elon Musk's schedule is? No, you do not know. But you know the stock is down. So you say, well, I should sell. Well, Tesla stock at $200 and $300 is probably a little bit too much right now with everything that's going on. As long as that story hangs over, probably $250. Don't forget, it's a great car company. And they're doing a lot of new things with the robots and this and that. So that's not too bad. So let's not throw the baby with the bathwater. But at the end of the day, the concern is that, you know what? They are going to be in a lot of trouble because, frankly, most people don't understand what is going on. So now, one thing I would be careful about is the BRICS country. Now they met, and they are getting together: Ethiopia, Iran, Egypt. I mean, Brazil and Russia and China, and they're like, okay, how can we circumvent the U.S.? How can we? The problem is that those countries tend to be a bit different type of political system, right? So can they get together truly against the U.S.? And Trump said, if you do anything, then all of you 10% on top of it. And can Trump do that? Yeah, well, of course he could do it. I mean, the U.S. is 350 million people. The U.S. consumes more than everybody else in the world. So you need the U.S. to do anything. Subscribe to this channel and join my Patreon channel as well, right? Because it's free. And I give you my opinions all day. You could believe it or not believe it. But then again, who wants to listen to other channels, right, when they're telling you what you want to hear? You listen to, I don't know, CNBC. They'll bring some guy in. He's a portfolio manager. He's going to say, well, I think that, like they had that lady on Tesla saying that, they say, well, aren't you concerned with Tesla? Aren't you concerned that the guy's not spending any time with his company? See how simple it is? And she says, because she made a lot of money with Tesla, and she said, no, I believe that, I believe in I'm a little worried, it's kind of worrisome because the stock is down, 7% to $300, up from $500 in December, but I trust them, I trust the board, I know they'll do the right thing, blah, 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 blah. How do they know anything, right? What you need to know is that what drives the stock. And right now, they don't even care what's going on with the sales and the valuation. I mean, look at the valuation for Tesla. The P ratio for Tesla is 175. People are paying 175 times earnings on Tesla. Well, the market is 33. What justify 175? So there are things at play that, if you're going to get into Tesla, you got to hold on to your knickers and expect a lot of volatility, right? If you expect that much volatility on Tesla, why but because it's overvalued and overpriced. But then again, they over deliver. I mean, who's going to make robots that gives you, makes you breakfast and sending satellite to the moon and creating cars, that's why you're spending a lot on it, versus the market. But then again, they're saying, well, never mind all that. He is not focused on his job. He wants to create a political party. Therefore, you should sell. And that's what's happening, right? So as people are selling, the smart money is probably buying Tesla. I could give you both sides of the coins all the time. All the time I could give you. I give you where this is good and where this is bad. Why should you invest in Tesla and where you should not invest? So how do I decide? The way you decide is where the story is moving. Right now, the story is he's spending too much time away from the company. How do you know? Well, because he creates a political party. How do you know he's doing anything like that? Right? So basically what we have here is a failure to communicate. Don't forget, at the end of the day, the latest situation with China, which is basically now at 55% tariffs. We're paying 55% tariffs on China, which is, and you know what? What China is paying right now is kind of what they're paying last year anyway, right? But China is not into it for that. What China is doing is basically getting as much knowledge as possible, right? Because at some point, I believe that they're going to close the circle of Valerie Pieris. What is the circle of Valerie Pieris? It's the area of the world where there's 10% of mass and 50% of the people. That is what they are doing, and that is what they're going to do.